Good morning, yogis. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I came across this little piece of paper this morning, and I thought, I'm going to put on my Wicked t-shirt and we're going to do a Wicked yoga practice. A Wicked yoga practice. This piece of paper was tucked inside the program of Wicked when we went to see Caroline, our daughter, when she was understudying the role of Elphaba. It was her first job right out of college, and she actually got to go on, and it says, the role of Elphaba will be played by Caroline Bowman. This is like one of my most prized possessions, and I had it tucked in a drawer, and I'm like, I gotta put this somewhere safe. So remind me to do that. But yeah, so I thought we'd defy some gravity today in our practice. So that said, let's find a comfortable seat. Tuck something under your hips so you can lengthen your spine, draw your shoulders up, back and down. You know the drill. And then sit up in whatever seated position is comfortable for you. So one leg in front of the other. Maybe you come into full lotus, half lotus, crisscross applesauce, or extend your legs. And then just take a moment to arrive here in this body, in this moment. Notice. This practice of yoga gives us that capacity to really notice. We talked about that last week, those little things, those little moments, those special moments that we file away, hopefully in our long-term memory, not in a drawer where it gets lost. We file them away and then we can call them up during moments as good memories, positive things to appreciate and be grateful for. So getting present, we notice. We employ all of those senses that we are gifted with. So any that we have access to. So we can see. We might choose to close our eyes and notice what we see with our eyes closed. The light filtering through our eyelids. We can employ our sense of hearing and notice the sounds in the distance. And the sounds that are closer in. The sound of your heartbeat. And the sound of your breath. And just notice your body, what you brought to your mat. Are you feeling a little more stiff or a little more flexible this morning? Just notice without judgment. That's why we're here, to work out the kinks. Notice the temperature of the air. And finally, notice that connection you're making with the surface beneath you. Feel yourself grounded in this moment. And then softening the belly, begin to invite in a deeper breath, filling up the belly, the ribs, the lungs. Pause at the top of the inhale as we always do. Just feel that fullness. And then slowly release the breath through your nostrils, feeling that sensation of emptying. Begin again, inviting in a longer breath. Knowing that we're activating that parasympathetic nervous system as we slow down. That's so good for us, that rest and digest. Allowing our body to function at its highest level, or at least somewhere up there. Let's take a couple more breaths together. Good. And just as we begin, just notice what we've already accomplished together in this short time period. And then we'll come to hands and knees, come to tabletop. So pad your knees. Always a good suggestion. I did a yoga practice yesterday on a hard floor. I have carpet here, so it feels kind of nice on my knees, but yesterday I really noticed without the blanket my knees were achy, so definitely do that for yourself. And just sink your hips back a little bit and just give your arms a stretch, and then come forward, turn your hands in either facing toward you or just sideways, and then slightly lean back so you can stretch your wrists. Just give your wrists a little stretch. We'll be on them. And then Sophie, shake it out. Find your tabletop pose. So fingers spread wide as they land right under your shoulders. And then the knees under the hips, top of the feet on the floor. Take a big breath in. Come into your cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone. Nice stretch across the front of the chest. And then tuck your belly into your spine as you round into your Halloween cat shape. And let your chin come down to your chest and press the mat away. And take a few more here, moving with your breath. Inhale into your cow and exhale into your cat. Good, moving that spine. And maybe you decide you want to get a little funky, be a little more like Elphaba, a little different. And take some figure eights or move in a way that serves you this morning. Maybe you come all the way back into your child's pose, and then inhale your way back up and come into your cow pose. Make it your own for a few more breaths. Just moving with your breath, waking up the body, just making some movements that work for you. And then finally we'll join one another in stillness, and we'll defy gravity for the first time, sending the left leg long, pointing the toes toward the floor, and then reach your right arm forward. I thought I had enough room here. I'm going to scoot back. Come into your bird dog. Good. Good. So notice a little wobbliness. See if you can find that center of gravity. And just breathe. One more breath in. And then exhale your right hand down to the floor, your left knee to the floor. Sophie, shake it out. And we'll send that right leg long. Take your toes and point them down toward the floor. Reach your left arm forward. Your gaze is just ahead of you on the floor, keeping a nice long neck. Tuck the belly into the spine. Use your core to find that center. And breathe. Things get a little wobbly. We always have our breath. And as you're ready, take your left hand to the floor, take your right knee to the floor. Sophie, shake it out. We're going to move a few more times a little faster through a bird dog flow. So send your right arm and your left leg back. Inhale. And exhale when you're ready, lower. Inhale to send the left arm and the right leg out from the center, and then exhale to lower. And take another one each side. Just moving with your own breath. Good. And as you're ready, bring your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, sink your hips back, come into your first child's pose. Make it an extended child's. Walk your fingertips forward, let your forehead come to the floor, and just breathe here. Settle into this child's pose. And if your shoulders need a break already, you can take your hands back to the sides of your feet and just let your spine lengthen. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. You know the drill. When you're ready, we'll rise back up. Coming into our table, tuck your toes. Just lift your knees slightly up from the floor. Just a couple of inches. That's all it's going to take. Defy gravity again. Notice it's a little more of a challenge here, so we can employ our abs. Use those abs. Tuck them into your spine. Use those quadricep muscles. And then when you're ready, lift your hips. Come all the way up into your downward facing dog. Send your hips high. Bend one knee and then the other. Walk your dog. One heel presses down to the floor while the other is lifted. And just one movement at a time. Losing my mic. Just walk your dog a couple more times. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a slow walk to the front of our mat. Move your blanket out of the way. And then I'll meet you in your forward fold. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Maybe you reach for your arms, your elbows, come into ragdoll. Or maybe you decide you want to give yourself a hug and reach your arms back behind you. And come into your forward fold as more of a little hug. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Getting that head under the heart. If you feel any dizziness, just come up slowly. We'll take one more breath here. Exhale it out. And then inhale, release your fingertips to the floor. Maybe they graze your legs as you root to rise. Coming all the way up, reaching up, looking up. Let your palms touch above your head and then draw them down right into your heart center. Take a moment, let your chin bow to your chest, to your heart. And then release your hands, come into mountain pose. Palms facing forward, shoulders nice and open, down away from the ears, and legs plugged in. So draw those kneecaps up and feel the strength of your own legs as your feet root into the floor, finding your balance, noticing that the body makes these little minor adjustments, always defying gravity, whether we know it or not, realize it or not. When you're ready, reach up, look up. Take a little lean back as your palms touch one another, a little tiny back bend, and then bend your knees as you swan dive forward. Take your forward fold. Straighten your legs a little bit more, maybe bend one and then the other. And then find stillness in your forward fold. Inhale, come into your halfway lift, so make that half tabletop. And exhale, fold. Decide if you want to jump back or step back one leg at a time, and we'll come back into our plank, lowering the knees to the floor, lowering the tops of the feet, and eventually lowering the whole body, coming all the way down to the floor. This battery pack does not want to stay. So we'll come all the way down to the floor. Take your hands outside of your shoulders and squeeze the elbows in as you inhale, rise up into your baby cobra. First little back bend, so be gentle. Take a big breath in and exhale, lower it back down. Good, we'll take 2 more just to kind of get the feel of this back bend. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, lower. Good, 1 more. Inhale, rise, and tuck your toes. Lift on up, hips rise to the ceiling, come into your downward facing dog. Nice. Breathe in. And exhale, maybe you decide you want to jump, defying gravity, or take a walk to the front of your mat. Find your forward fold. We'll move a little faster. We'll flow a little bit more with our breath. Inhale halfway. Always the opportunity to use your blocks. Exhale. Elphaba, exhale. And then inhale, root to rise. Reach on up, look up, lean back. Look back at your thumbs. Take a big breath in, shine your heart. And as you exhale, come on back up and take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Lean to the left. Make a C shape with your body. Breathe in. Keep your both feet grounded and breathe out. Inhale to reach up, look up. And exhale, take a hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Lean right. Good, nice firm footing. Nice firm foundation, as my daddy used to say. Inhale, reach up, look up, lean back. Maybe you take your hands back to the small of the back, squeeze the elbows in and shine your heart. Looking up. Being soft with the neck. Good. On your exhalation, we're going to fold forward. Find your forward fold, head under heart. Inhale to your halfway, half table. And exhale, take your hands to the floor, step back, 1 foot and then the other, or jump back. Coming through your plank or lowering your knees, come all the way down to the floor. Take the hands outside of the shoulders, squeeze the elbows. We'll take 1 cobra, inhale, and exhale, lift up, downward facing dog. Good job, you guys got this. A little more strenuous, we're defying gravity, so we can't just be, you know, little demure yogis today. We will eventually come down to our mat and have our reward. But for now, let's lift our right leg up high. Rotate that ankle around a couple of times. Wake up that ankle. And then look forward. Bend the knee. Go ahead and step it on forward. Get it up there to the front of the mat. Taking a nice long runner's lunge. Maybe rock forward and back a couple of times. Good. Take your left hand while it's there to the inside of the right foot. Take a nice twist, opening up the right shoulder, lifting the right arm and following it with your gaze. Good. Breathe in and breathe out slowly. Lower down that right hand. We're going to come up to our fingertips or your blocks if they happen to be handy, and use the strength of your legs to rise up. Good. Reach up. Let your fingertips reach for the sky. I have this sign on my wall. I love it. It says, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. So reach up, look up, laugh at the sky, and then flip your palms, take them back behind you. So strong in your legs. We're going to take a humble warrior, because Elphaba was nothing if she wasn't humble. Lift your arms up, find that wobble, and just find your center. So the wobble is not going to distract us too much today. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Rise back up. Find your crescent lunge. Good. Just laugh. If you happen to fall and come back in, it's all perfect. When you're ready, take your hands down to frame your right foot. We're going to step back and lift that right leg up high again. And then lower it down. Good. Walk out your dog. You're doing great. Keep breathing. We've got one more side. So lift that left leg up high. Rotate the ankle a couple of times. Good. Excellent. Take your left knee, draw it into your chest, maybe even round into that shape, that cat shape, I'm sorry. And when you're ready, step forward. Find your low lunge here. You can rock forward and back a couple of times. Just get settled. Decide if you need a little more space between your legs. They're on railroad tracks. Your right heel is lifted, left knee over left ankle. Let the right hand come down to the inside of the left foot. Take your twist on this side. Open it up. Open up that shoulder. Take your gaze up towards your hand. Yeah, beautiful. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lower the left hand. And then come up to your fingertips or your blocks and rise up. Defy gravity. Find your crescent pose here. You've got this. Reach those fingertips toward the sky. Draw the pinkies together. Framing the ears. Embracing the wobble. And when you're ready, flip the palms. Take them behind you. Maybe clasp your hands the funky way. So the other thumb is on top. And then lift your arms up as you humbly bow. Come into your humble warrior. Yeah, so if you're feeling a little wobbly, maybe you need a little more space between your legs. So just taking one a little bit farther toward the edge of the mat. It's okay. If you fall out, come back. We'll keep breathing no matter what. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, take your hands to frame the left foot. Take your left foot back, coming through plank or lowering your knees. Lowering the tops of the feet, lower all the way down. Come into your, come down to your mat. Feel the connection of the earth against your entire body and feel yourself breathing here. So you can release your arms down to the sides. Keep that forehead right at the center, keeping that third eye right on the mat. Take a nice big breath in, and an excellent exhale. Breathe in one more time, and then soften. Nice. We're going to take another back bend here. We're going to reach back just like we did in our humble warrior and clasp our hands. See if you can draw the shoulders toward one another. And then we'll start by lifting our head and our shoulders just a little bit up. Notice how that feels. Only go as high as your back is ready for this morning, but see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit more and breathe through it. One more breath. And then lower down. Release your hands. Just let your palms rest, face up on the floor. You can turn your head to one side if you like. So if you shake it out, and then find stillness and feel your breath. Yeah, get present in this moment. On your next breath in, bring your forehead back to the mat. Find that funky clasp. So maybe the other thumb is on top. We're going to draw our shoulders together. Lift your head and shoulders and decide if you want to zip your legs together and maybe lift your legs off the floor as well. Always the option to keep them on the floor, firmly grounded. But if you'd like to fly, defy gravity, come on up. Squeeze the shoulders, maybe come a little bit higher. And then slowly lower down. Turn your head to the other side if you did that on the last go around. Sophie, shake it out. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice big breath. Nice long exhalation. Awesome. When you're ready, bring your forehead back to the center of the mat. Take your hands in that position that we were in when we were coming in through our cobra, and push yourself up slowly. Bring your legs together and then sink your hips back into a slow child's pose. So make it slow. Maybe use your block under your forehead, and this time do take your hands back and reach for the edges of your feet. Let the shoulders just relax here, and let your back just soften here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. When you're ready, take your hands to the floor slowly. Rise back up. Now, this doesn't always work for everyone. This is hero's pose, not for everyone. So if your knees just will not bend in this way, there are also options. You can tuck a blanket underneath, and that kind of helps support. You can tuck your toes underneath you. Have no fear, we won't be here long. Just lift your right arm up and follow it with your gaze as you take it back behind you. See if you can find your heel and lean back, lift your left arm high. We'll take one more back bend here. Taking a little camel. On your exhalation, lower your left hand. Lower yourself back down. We'll tuck the toes just for a moment, stretching those feet. Breathe in and breathe out. Then we'll come back up. Take your left arm up, reach up, lean back. See if you can find that left heel with your left hand and lift your right arm up. Follow it with your gaze. Good. Also a good place to, excuse me, tuck, wow, what's happening? Tuck something underneath your knees. All right, we're gonna bring our hands under our shoulders. We're gonna lift up into one more downward facing dog. Good, breathe in, breathe out. Lift that right leg high. Go ahead and open it up. Find that fire hydrant pose. You can even take a hip circle if that would feel good. Just open it up. Good. On your exhale, lengthen it. Find that length. Point your toes. Get really long. Keep pressing that left heel down toward the floor. Nice big stretch. Good. Breathe in. And then we'll look forward, step forward with your right foot. Come to your fingertips or your blocks. And here we go. Rise up. Find your crescent. We've already been there. You know what it feels like. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then feel the strength of your right quadricep. Maybe lift and spread your right toes and then press them in into the floor, excuse me. And then come up on your left toes, and we're gonna fly. Yeah, we're gonna just lift that left leg high, and you can take your arms out wide like an airplane. You can take them back behind you. You can take them to your heart. Make it your own. I'm gonna defy gravity as an airplane. And again, if you fall out, laugh about it and come back. See if you can breathe through this. We'll take one more breath in. And as you exhale, just step back with your left foot. Rise back up, find your crescent. Yeah, everything's perfect, just laugh. Good. On your exhalation, take your hands to frame the right foot. We're gonna step back, reach it high, open it up again. Reach it high again, and then keeping your blanket handy, maybe tuck it back under you as you bring your right leg forward. My goodness. Take your right knee behind your right hand and your right toes behind your left wrist and come into your pigeon pose, your half pigeon. Good. So blocks are great here. You can use your blocks to prop yourself up. We're going to be here for just a few breaths as we let this right hip settle in. It might be speaking to you. Use your breath. If pigeon does not work for you, come down to the mat and come into your figure 4. So you can have your left foot on the floor. You can have your right ankle on your right thigh. And just breathe there. So back to our pigeon or our figure 4. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So I'll tell you a little bit about Wicked. If you haven't seen it, Wicked is about a feisty young girl born with the greenest of skin. She comes to school, which can be a very scary place for an adolescent, only to room with the most popular of all the girls. Galinda is what her name is in the beginning. She later changes it to Galinda. The story of Wicked is one of friendship and coming of age and learning to be comfortable in your own skin. And that's just great until the world decides to call one girl good and another girl wicked. So let's take one more breath together, my friends, my musical theater friends. And then we'll slowly begin to press ourselves up. Take yourself back up into your downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up. Maybe take a hip circle or 2. And then eventually lower the right leg down to the floor. Maybe walk it out. And then find stillness. Just notice the difference between the right and the left sides of your legs. Left leg, right leg, left leg. And then when you're ready, lift that left leg up high, open it up. Get that hip nice and open. Breathe in. Send that right leg long again. Good. And then we'll draw it forward. Step on up. Rise up. Find your crescent here. Find that perfect place somewhere in the middle where the wobble doesn't bother you too much. Yeah, maybe this side is the good side. Maybe it's the wicked side. It doesn't matter. When you're ready, feel that connection your left foot is making with the floor. Feel that strength of your left leg. And then begin to bring your arms out or back and bring your weight into your left leg. Come into your airplane, defy gravity. I'm going to move back again. I need a bigger room. Find your center, find your sweet spot where you can maybe use your drishti, your gazing point at something that's not moving down on the floor. And just embrace the wobble as you breathe through this beautiful, challenging, balancing pose. It's all good. We'll take one more breath in. And as you exhale, go ahead, bring your hands down to the floor. Bring your right foot to the floor. Send your left leg long. Reach it up, maybe open it up again. And then we're going to come forward into that pigeon. So use your blanket as necessary. Bring your left knee behind your left wrist and your left foot behind your right. Lift up before, shine your heart, and then decide, do I need to tuck something under my left hip? Do I want my blocks for a little landing spot? Or do I want to just settle in here, finding that pigeon sweet spot? Breathe through it. Maybe close your eyes. So Elphaba has this amazing power to defy gravity and somehow to overcome the pettiness of the world. And with her own unique skill set, she could use her powers to really change things for the better. But the narrow-mindedness of the world will not have it. Wicked is the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, which was written by L. Frank Baum, as I'm sure you all remember, that famous story and film with Judy Garland. So good. So L. Frank Baum sounds a lot like Elphaba, whose character was named for the author. A little trivia. As we breathe through this one more time, let something go on your exhalation. And then we'll bring our hands to the mat. Get your props situated so you can tuck your right toes. Lift that left leg high. Maybe take a knee circle here. And then lower the left foot. Bring it on down. Walk it out. Find what feels really good in your body. And then we'll come down, lowering the knees to the mat. Just bring the left hip to the mat and take this right leg, bring it across, and we'll take a twist. Give yourself a hug, right hand goes behind. Take your gaze behind the right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a nice big breath in. Lift and lengthen one more time. Send the crown of the head toward the heavens. Laugh at the perfection of it all. And then slowly unwind. We'll switch sides. So left leg comes across the right. Give yourself a hug. Breathe in as you take your right hand behind you. And breathe out as you twist toward that left shoulder. Good. Nice big breath. Fill up and lengthen. And as you exhale, take your twist as deeply as you're ready. So good for you. Detoxing, wringing out, giving a little massage to the internal organs there. All the good things. Breathe in and breathe out as you unwind. And then we'll send our legs long on our mat. And a good opportunity for a strap here is you can take your strap and wrap it around your the meaty part of your feet. If you flex your feet, it might stay there. And sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a forward fold here. So just take your time just to let your back get to the point where it can rest here. Be sure to use any props that might feel good. So if you feel like something in your lap or a place for your head to rest might feel good, you can even stack it. And then if you decide not to use your strap or you don't have one, just reach for the edges of your feet. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And let's stay. Let's let this forward fold be really soothing to our nervous systems. We've done a lot of flying. We've been very brave, much like Elphaba. So let's just let ourselves soften here. And let the back of the neck soften, let the face soften. Let the jaw relax. Swallow in your throat, soften the back of the throat. And just settle in here. We're grounded solidly on the earth. No more flying for this practice anyway. And see if you can find something about this moment to savor. Maybe the ease of the breath, the softening of the hamstrings. That sensation of the opening of the upper back. Breathe here. Excellent. Let's take a few more breaths. See if you can get any more out of the stretch, something your body might really appreciate. Just breathe. Excellent. As you're ready, take your hands, frame your legs, bring the belly into the spine as you rise up, and we'll take our whole selves down to the mat, lowering all the way down, extending your legs long and giving yourself a full body stretch. Point your toes, arch your back, get really long, take up space. And then as you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. Take some of those yummy knee circles going in both directions, one and then the other. Massage out your sacrum. Good. And then lower the right foot to the floor. Take your left leg and just wrap it around, just like you're crossing your leg. And then lift yourself up, press yourself up, and bump your hips over to the right just a little bit. And then take your legs over to the left. So this right ankle on the right thigh, left ankle on the right thigh is giving you a little incentive to twist. Take your gaze toward the right. Open up your arms to a T. Just let this twist from the rib cage work its magic. Nice big breath in. And exhale as you come back up. Take your left foot to the floor. Take your right leg, cross it over. Bump your hips over to the left, and then lower your legs to the right. And take your arms out, turn your gaze to the left. Just breathe. Nice big breath. Nice open heart. As you exhale, come back to center. And then I'm going to suggest for our Shavasana, we take our blankets and roll them up. So I have this in quarters, and I'm going to roll it up into a cannoli roll-like thing, not to make you hungry. Take your, if you have tassels, turn it the other way so they're not driving you nuts. And then bring your hips to the base of this cannoli roll. And then slowly lower down. So hopefully that lands right on your spine and gives you an opportunity to just snuggle your shoulders around it. And with that, you can bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana. You can come into crisscross applesauce or extend your legs long. Decide what works for you, and then just settle into your final resting shape. Whatever it is, just allow it to work for your body. If the blanket doesn't work for you, maybe put it under your neck or under your knees or cover up. Get really present to yourself and decide what it is you need. And then once you find that Shavasana shape, just get really still. See if you can use this opportunity to practice stillness. So if you feel the urge to move, see if you can just be still. Just allow everything to settle. One of the reasons I'm so very grateful for this yoga practice is that it does remind me to savor and appreciate some really special moments. And a couple of years after my daughter went in as an understudy for the role of Elphaba, she was invited back to actually play the role for a period of months. I forget, her contract was maybe 9 months. And so we had the opportunity to see her play that iconic role, that just beautiful role about a girl who does defy gravity, and she does in many ways go up against the ridiculousness of the world. And so one Wednesday, I think it was, I sat in the audience all by myself. I wanted to go by myself so I could just really appreciate this amazing experience of watching your kid up there. And so I sat there and I started crying in the very beginning. As soon as the curtain rose, she wasn't even on stage. And then when she came out to that entrance applause, I lost it. And it stayed pretty much like that for the whole show. And then I went backstage, and her poor dresser, she has a makeup person and a dresser. She saw me just still sobbing, and she like quick left the room. And I just hugged her and I said, it wasn't even, there was so much emotion. It's hard to even explain, but I will never forget that moment. And I can call that up for the rest of my life because I was able to be present. I didn't have any distractions. I was next to complete strangers. So sometime when you have the opportunity, maybe you will go to see a play and sit in the audience by yourself and just experience it. It doesn't even have to be your kid up there. I highly suggest it. So when you're ready, if you haven't already, slowly begin to deepen your breath. Make some small movements, wiggling fingers and toes and turning your head from side to side. Maybe you'll roll to one side, finding that fetal position, and just pause, notice. How does your body feel? How is your breath moving through it? When you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to close. You've done so well. Thank you for defying gravity with me today. Bring your hands together at heart center. Take a moment to bow to your own courage, your own tenacity, your own strength. And then send a prayer out to someone who could use it, someone who could use some of that today. Namaste, my friends. Have a wonderful day.